Club in the house.
Philip, it is you. You are on.
Everywhere?
Don't fool us, please. Don't embarrass us.
Welcome everybody to the Woodsmith live broadcast here from the Woodsmith Magazine shop. It's our Friday live that we do every day on YouTube, or every day. That would be something if we did it every day. That would be something. Every Friday at about this time on both YouTube and Facebook. It's the week before Christmas, in case you weren't aware of that, and all through the office, not many creatures are stirring. So a lot of people are starting to get out of here. However, in the Woodsmith shop, we still have a few of Santa's helpers working on some stuff around here. So I know that there's at least 3 of us that have projects going on. Mark's already gone for the holiday season. He's working on a project that I think we can maybe have Dylan talk about in just a second here. So I'm wrapping up one last project for the year. It's one of the cooler projects that I've ever done. Coolest?
No.
All right, so let's turn it over to Dylan and we'll talk about the project Mark's working on.
Oh yeah, actually let's come over here then. Talk about Mark's project first. So, I believe this has been a project that's been discussed, and we'll kind of check in to see where he's at with progress. But the project we're looking at here is a vintage style vinyl console. So the case that we are building for this is composed of African mahogany for the casework. The feet and stretchers on the bottom is just going to be a painted poplar. It's going to be black. There's a couple things that are a little interesting going on here. So we've got speaker grills on either side. The cool thing about this project is that this project is going to accommodate for homemade speakers. If you're so inclined to go the route of making your own custom speakers, you can order your own woofer and speaker set and kind of compose your own. Otherwise, these grills are meant to be removed, so there's magnets on the opposing side, so you can just pull those out. If you just got shelf speakers, you can tuck those back in there. There's electrical ports that'll be installed on the back side. The cavity down here is for your receiver. Up top, we've got a drop top storage unit for the vinyl player, and then of course we have a little bit of storage here that'll be for your vinyls. So he is, as of right now, Mark's in the stages. It looks like he's got all of his panels glued up, so it's just a matter of cutting everything else to length, start doing some joinery, getting the casework put together. Last couple of days I've been working on the base for it. We're going to be, once we get back from break, we're going to be kind of close to the issue already, so be in kind of rush mode to get things pushed out. So I figured I'd lend a hand and kind of help him push him along on that. So
It's all solid wood too, that's kind of cool.
all solid wood construction. Initially we were going to do plywood. I know we talked briefly about that last week, about the choices that we make in terms of the materials, make it a little more approachable in terms of cost and just ease of use when you're milling your lumber. The thing about this is, since the top part was subdivided, so you kind of have 3 different sections on the tops or panels on the top, it just seemed a little more advantageous to use hardwood rather than trying to conceal or do edge treatments on all those individual panel pieces on the top. So again, it will all be solid wood construction, which is always kind of nice. It'll be a nice stout piece, which is preferred for plain vinyls, which can be kind of finicky sometimes based on kind of the vibration that you have in your house. So,
But somebody could do without plywood if they
yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to honestly, you could do the casework and you could do the internal panels as well. Again, it's just going to require a little bit of edge banding, or if you want to do hardwood edge treatments on that, of course, that's an option as well. So, I have a couple projects I've been working on, more of a modeling / digital drawing stage. We talked about them a little bit last week. However, I'm going to jump right into a personal project I've been working on for the last few days. I've got a client here in town that just opened a new bar called the Bartender's Handshake, all craft cocktails, shameless plug. I'm actually building him 20 of these Hinoki cocktail boxes. So they'll all end up storing ice and then a carafe of the signature cocktail that they have there. The boxes I made out of some of the material that was left over from trestle table we're doing for an upcoming issue. So the case or the outside of the box here is Doug fir. Is that right, John? The yacht?
Yep.
So it's a 100-year-old Doug fir that came from a corn crib, I believe, in northern Iowa. Then the bases, I'm doing cherry and then cherry spline miters. And then the interior will be treated. I'm gonna put 1/8" acrylic on the bottom and then do the perimeter in acrylic as well, since it's gonna be holding ice and continually saturated and kind of keep it a little insulated. It's more for the waterproofing issue, but yeah, I've got these working on right now. I'm just finishing up cutting all the bottoms to size, and then I'll go over to doing the spline miters on these, and then it will be on to doing the applying acrylic. And then I ordered a branding iron with his logo on it, so these will all get pressed on one, if not two sides of these, and then they'll get coated and they'll be ready to go, hopefully, probably realistically, in the new year.
And this means the Woodsmith staff gets free drinks for you using the shop space, right?
That's yet to be negotiated. well, I definitely think we should probably take a
You get a bartender's
non-work
handshake.
sponsored field trip there.
Bartender's handshake.
And then one other real small project, which, I mean, there's really not a lot here. I've struggled to kind of figure out what to do with projects. I, like everybody else here, run into time crunches, and you try to crank out as many projects as you can to appease the people you love. But my dad has always obsessed and talked about a Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
That's what that was.
So
That was.
I took it upon
Yeah,
myself, since he's probably gonna be doing Christmas alone this year. We'll be out on vacation, so he'll be home alone. I didn't want him to be without any sort of decor. So again, with a little bit of the leftover Doug fir, I've got a nice base for him right now. I found a test tube that every year he can change out his greenier if he wants to. Working on getting a little bit of fabric for the tree skirt there, and then I need to find one lonely red bull to top it all off. So those are the projects that I have in the works right now. If I don't see it till the new year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Yeah, we got a lot of things cooking for next year, so I think we look forward to pushing ahead with that and seeing you guys in the new year. So with that, I believe we're gonna move over to
Is your room?
No,
No?
I don't know who's watching.
Oh.
So, yeah.
All
How
right.
about you?
Well, shameless. I'm not gonna have John turn around because I don't, again, know who's watching.
Right.
But I'm gonna say Mark took some inspiration from me. Did you see
Right.
what's
Yeah, I did
back
see
there?
that,
Don't
yeah.
spin around, John. We don't know
Oh, I
who's
see it.
watching.
I see
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna say he took some inspiration from me. But over the last couple weeks, I've been working on a bunch of cutting boards. I don't believe my family watches because they don't like me that much.
Right.
So I'm not terribly concerned about ruining any surprises. But for the last couple weeks, I have been working on cutting boards. And I've had a big stack here, and the stack is slowly getting smaller. So I have, 3 boards here that I am ready to start sanding. These guys. And then I have a couple more left to surface, and then these guys just need some drum sanding and final trimming. So I'm hoping I'll knock these 3 out today. So a little bit of some, not gonna say that there was a little bit of contention in my household, or a little bit of, there was a discussion between my wife and I on should a cutting board be one-sided or two-sided? Phil, what's your opinion?
I usually do two-sided,
Okay, you do two-sided.
only because I feel like after a while the one side gets kind of all nicked up and then you just flip them over. But see, that's for the cutting boards that I make, which are usually edge grain.
Sure.
So they show marks a little bit more than the
End grain
end
ones.
grain ones that you're doing.
So, and my thought was, I was on the team of one-sided cutting board for 2 reasons, okay? Well, 3 kind of. First, the whole thing started because of feet. I wanted to put rubber feet on the bottom,
Yeah,
but that makes it a one-sided cutting board.
sure.
But I like feet on the cutting board for the simple fact that it lifts it away from the countertop, so any water that gets under it doesn't get wicked into the cutting board, right?
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah, and any warpage, kind of, double-edged thing, any warpage that does occur, the feet absorb some of that. Right? So I'm not terribly concerned about that. But also, this is a completely selfish reason, because then if I bevel the edge like this, it creates a nice handle
Right.
And I don't have to go through the trouble of routing a handle in the edge, which just seems to burn. I mean, no matter what you do,
yeah,
it seems to burn.
Right.
So I was like, okay, if I do a simple shape like this, I create a handle just by making a large bevel, I put my feet on, it becomes a one-sided cutting board. So I'm interested to hear what everybody watching thinks, one-sided cutting board versus two-sided cutting board. My opinion is, if I'm going to, and the third reason was, there's always seems to be a nice side of the cutting board.
Right, that's true, because no matter how you try and glue it up, especially, there's going to be like a mineral streak. Or
yeah, like I got a couple, and there's a crack in this, in this one, so that's the bottom,
Yeah.
So it was just, I was interested to see what everybody watching thinks. Everybody's probably used a cutting board at some point, maybe not a wood one, but interested to know if people want a one-sided or two-sided cutting board. So I'll maybe, after the holidays, bring in a finished one. I think I have one extra for myself. I'll bring in a finished one show.
Because you ordered a ridiculous amount of mineral oil.
2 gallons of mineral oil. Somewhere, somebody in the Amazon warehouse thinks I have a lot of horses that need laxative because that's what it's used for in that size. But yeah, I ordered
in that size.
Yeah, in that size jug. I ordered 2 gallons. So right now in my shop at home, I have a little like Rubbermaid tub full of 1.5 gallons of mineral oil.
Sure.
With these soaking. I saw an interesting, when we've shown cutting boards like on our show and stuff, we kind of do an application where it's like rub it on, kind of heat it up, let the wax and oil soak in. And I found a really nice demonstration that somebody did on wiping mineral oil on versus soaking it for 5 minutes versus soaking it for 5 hours.
Sure.
And the penetration on the oil that was soaked was significant compared to the other two. So I've been letting these guys actually soak overnight in a mineral oil bath. And then I have a draining rack above it that I've been kind of rotating. And I can only fit 2 at a time in it anyways, because that's all the mineral oil I have.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been rotating through, trying to do 2 a day, put them in, let them soak, let them dry overnight once I pull them out, and then come back to do my feet. And I also am doing a final buffing of beeswax and mineral oil, and it really gives it a nice polish. So we'll see how they go. I'm hoping everybody likes them, but we'll see.
Okay, sounds good. John, did you get all your Christmas presents done?
Yep. I just had the one. Got done early.
No last minute.
No, not
No
this year.
fitting,
I go every other year on that.
No New Year's Eve at 11 o'clock trying to get stuff to fit, or Christmas Eve.
Everyone, John got Amazon gift cards for all his family members.
Yeah.
Very original.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I was like, that's what, with doing this, that's what I was trying to get away from this year was the gift cards. Because as much as I appreciate getting gift cards, they seem a little impersonal. Right. I mean,
You're just trading money at that point.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm trying not to do.
Mildly thoughtless, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like I don't want to, give my parents a gift card, which is what we usually do.
Sure.
And then they just give us gift cards because, like John said, that's just trading money. It's like I'm gonna put a little thought into everybody's gifts. So this has been a fun Christmas project. So.
And I think it's fun, like with the project that I've been doing for Christmas projects, doing multiples really makes a difference. Like you really hone techniques or get routines down. Like I've seen you work through these, and you start, like the first couple of them are a little clunky as you try and figure out what's the right order and stuff. And even you with your cocktail boxes too. It's like you start with one and it's like, this is dumb, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And then you just start with something else.
Well, and the biggest problem I was having with these was the sanding. And I discovered that one of the sanders that I actually purchased from here has a rotary feature, and that made it go so much faster. I wish I would have known that 8 cutting boards ago, because it would have saved so much time.
Pneumatic sanders too.
It basically turns it into a pneumatic sander.
Sure.
So it's like, oh, that's super cool.
It's
So
like dual action. Or
yeah. So I can really hog off a lot of material. So yeah, we'll check in once the new year hits and see how everybody's doing.
Yeah, back in 2020.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over check the Twitter, make sure we don't have any questions. I know we had a lot of people saying hi and happy holidays, so hello to everybody that is watching. Let me go check real quick. Seminar in January.
Yeah, January, we just wrapped up, yesterday was our last Woodsmith Live seminar of the year for 2019. The next one in January is going to be done by our very own Vince Ancona, the editor of Woodsmith Magazine. He's going to be talking about choosing a table saw. That'll be January the 18th, I believe, at 11 a.m. You can find all that information and the whole schedule for next year's Woodsmith Live seminars at woodsmithshop.com/seminars. So otherwise, I think we had a really fun year doing those
Yeah, we did.
seminars and a lot of interaction. It's a good way to learn about woodworking from wherever you are.
This next year will be fun because we're kind of branching out into different stuff.
Yeah.
So, it'll be cool.
Yeah. All right. Merry Christmas to everybody and happy holidays, and look forward to seeing you again next year. Bye.
See you guys.